Hi, good morning. This is Suneet Mukherjee. I'm the head of planning and logistics for Mondelez. Has been in Mondelez for the last 7 years. Worked with various companies in the last 20 years, starting from Britannia, Coca-Cola, Nestle, and currently with Mondelez. I do also have an international experience in Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. I'm really thankful and I express my gratitude here today when being invited to participate in this panel discussion organized by ISCM for the 4th Asian Thought Leadership Summit. It was a great panel discussion. There were great panelists who were there, spanning from FMCG, medical services, logistics service providers, and the panelists really threw a lot of challenging questions, and the questions were primarily hinged into agility, agile supply chain, collaboration in supply chain. Supply chain currently is undergoing a great transformation, and the moot point which got discussed was that what has been happening in the last 3-4 years. So if you just see the last 2 years, 2.5 years rather, wherein you had a lot of disruptions like demonetization, GST, price changes, then we had e-way bill, right? So in this disruption, really the metal of supply chain really came out, and how we really traversed in this path to emerge as victorious is one thing which we discussed in detail. Few things came out into this. First is about leadership. Second was about culture. Third is about the infrastructure. Fourth is about the entire organization setup and the rhythm in the organization. So I'll touch one by one. Leadership is a very important tenet. Without right and strong leadership, it's very difficult to really trade into this path wherein disruptions are the norms. When I talk about leadership, the first point which comes to my mind is about not a functional leadership. It's a business leadership which the supply chain professionals has to demonstrate. So when you talk about the KPIs, it's not about the functional KPIs. It's about the KPIs, how we really help the other functions. It's the enterprise-wide leadership the supply chain professional has to deliver. Actually, so only 10 to 15% of the leaders are enterprise leaders. So that is a path, or that is the vision that we should all have as far as leadership is concerned. Second is about the culture. We really hinged upon culture. Culture, diversity, and inclusion is a key thing in logistics and supply chain. Currently, what is the percentage of diversity in logistics? It's hardly 5 to 8%. We should have a target for this. And it can only happen when you have this embedded into your strategy. So when we hire people, we should also have diversity in mind so that at least in the next 5 years, we come to the level. In functions like marketing or sales, we see diversity percentage much more than supply chain. So that is the big challenge to us to incorporate diversity as a part of the strategy. Thirdly, we also talked about the infrastructure. Post GST, a lot of infrastructure changes has happened. With big logistics park coming, this is the time when supply chain has been reimagined. This is the golden period for supply chain. In one side, we have technology, a lot of investment happening. The networks are also the roadways are also growing bigger and bigger in terms of investment in the primary roadways and the secondary roadways. If you see one of the data, like there has been 12% CAGR in the primary network roadways for the last 4 years, while the secondary network is hardly 3%. So the challenge remains, but a lot of work has happened in the infrastructure space also. So in terms of network optimization, number of DCs, how many DCs you should have, there is the distribution centers. It also depends on the company to company. Some FMCG companies can work with 20 DCs. Some pharmaceutical companies can work with 6 DCs. But it's all up to the strategy, how the end customer, it has to start from the end customer. That means what should be the right distributor setup? What is the market that you're catering to? Does it talk about that you should be near to the market, or still you can have a kind of 48 hours or 72 hours from the market? So it has to define from the top, and then you work backwards and design that how many distribution centers you should have. Overall, it was a very great session, great learning from various companies, the strategy, and I'm thankful to ISCM for giving this opportunity to really come out and show and talk to the entire team members out here in terms of the various components of agility, collaboration, and decision making, fast decision making.